Long ago, in the heart of a dense forest nestled on the edges of the old kingdom of Quado, there lived an ancient woman known to all as Nana Osei. Some whispered she was over 200 years old. Others claimed she was born from the belly of the earth itself. But all agreed on one thing. Nana's hut was a place of deep magic, and at the center of it stood a mirror like no other. This was not an ordinary mirror. Carved from the obsidian stone of Mount Olyumo and framed with the sacred wood of the Irako tree, it did not show your face. Instead, it showed your soul, your truths, your lies, your kindness, your wickedness, all revealed in its cold, shimmering surface. Many came to Nana's hut seeking the truth about others, hoping to expose enemies or rivals. But they soon learned the mirror only revealed the soul of the one who stood before it. There was no hiding, no pretending, and once seen, you could never unsee what the mirror showed you. One fateful morning, a young girl named Esi made her way through the forest with her sick mother carried on her back. They were poor beggars in the village of Amanfo, barely surviving on scraps and pity. Her mother, Mame Adwoa, once a respected herbalist, had fallen into a mysterious illness after treating the chief's son in secret. Since then, she'd lost her sight and could no longer speak clearly. Sai was only 14, but she had aged beyond her years. With her tangled hair, calloused feet, and a voice too heavy for a child, she had endured mocking, starvation, and cruelty. Yet she never stole, she never lied, and she never hated. She only prayed to gods that seemed to have forgotten her. That day, the villagers whispered that Nana Osei was accepting a visitor. Just one. No one knew why. With trembling hope, Esi journeyed into the forest. The wind howled as if warning her to turn back. Trees leaned in listening. The air shimmered strangely around the path, but Esi pressed on, her mother tied firmly to her back. The walls breathed like lungs. The ground pulsed like a heartbeat. When Esi arrived, the door creaked open on its own. Inside, a small fire burned blue. Herbs hung from the ceiling, whispering in languages no human tongue could understand. And there it stood, the mirror. Nana herself was seated beside it, eyes glowing faintly. Her skin was wrinkled like river clay baked in the sun. Her voice was neither young nor old. "You have come with hope in your heart and burden on your back," she said. Esi knelt. "Please, Nana. My mother is dying. They say you can help." "I cannot heal what the soul has chained," Nana said, rising. "But the mirror may show you the chain." Sai looked at the mirror. "Will it show me what curse afflicts her?" Nana shook her head. "No, child. It will show you." Sai stepped before the mirror, her legs shaking. Her reflection did not appear. Instead, a glowing form emerged. A young girl clothed in rags of light and shadow. Around her neck were chains, some rusted, some golden. They pulsed with memories. The mirror showed her giving her only food to another hungry child. Then, standing in the rain, protecting her mother with nothing but a worn scarf. It showed her refusing to tell lies for coin. Refusing to hate those who laughed at her. Refusing to become bitter. But then, the image changed. It showed her younger, watching from the shadows as a powerful man entered their home, the chief of Amanfo. It showed him pleading with her mother to heal his son, despite village law forbidding it. It showed Mame Adwoa agreeing secretly. But then came the part that made Esi drop to her knees. It showed Esi, after the healing worked, overhearing the chief plan to have her mother silenced to hide his breaking of the sacred law. And it showed young Esi, doing nothing. Tears fell freely. Esi had not remembered this. Or maybe she had locked it away. Nana's voice filled the room, cold and heavy. "You have carried her burden, but you did not speak when you should have. The sickness in your mother's body is not just of herbs and poison. It is the weight of betrayal unspoken. And it anchors both of you." Esi cried. "I was just a child. What could I have done?" "The soul does not measure guilt by age, but by silence," Nana said. "Now you must decide. Will you remain silent still? Or will you return to Amanfo and speak the truth?" The mirror shimmered once more, and this time it showed the path Esi would take if she returned. The chief was now the ruler of all Amanfo. Powerful, respected, untouchable. Speaking would mean shame, possibly death, but it would also mean freedom. As Osei turned away from the mirror, Nana stepped back into the shadows. The mirror has shown you your soul. The choice is now yours. Osei looked down at her mother, who stirred slightly in her sling. Her lips moved faintly, and Osei thought she heard a single word. Speak. Nkem stood frozen in horror as she watched her brother Obiora screaming from within a burning version of their village. The mirror's hard pulsed in her hand like a heartbeat. Flames licked the sky. Smoke twisted into the shape of clawing hands. No, no, she cried. This can't be real. But the voice of the forest answered her. Every soul carries a fire. Yours has spread. She dropped to her knees, clutching the shard. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted to be free. Be seen. To stop being the girl with nothing. From the smoke, her reflection stepped out again, her darker self. Is cold. Mouth curled in bitterness. You wanted the world to feel your pain, the reflection said. And they did. The ground cracked open. From the pit rose visions of the people she had wronged, not just her brother. Not just the orphan girl, but the little kindnesses she had denied, the smiles she had withheld, the curses she had spoken under her breath. They became spirits of ash. One by one they whispered, You chose pride. You chose vengeance. You chose silence. Kem screamed. Then what do I do now? How do I undo this? The reflection smiled bitterly. You don't undo. You offer. Everything. Nkem's eyes widened. Offer. Your comfort. Your freedom. Even your return. The ground stopped shaking. In the silence, the children of Ash appeared once more, watching, waiting. And Nana's voice, distant but warm, returned. To cleanse the soul, you must give the world what you stole. You must become the mirror. Nkem stood before the flaming door of her village's ruin, tears streaking her ash-covered face. She understood now. She had come to seek forgiveness, but forgiveness was not a feeling. It was a choice, path. And the path required sacrifice. She clutched the shard of the mirror close to her heart, stepped forward and began to sing. A lullaby her mother used to hum when the world was cruel. As she sang, the fire slowed. The air shifted. One by one, the children of Ash began to glow not with pain, but with peace. Obiora's voice returned in the wind. Kem, I forgive you. She fell to her knees, sobbing. Then light, all around her. And the mirror reformed itself in her hands. Whole, pure, glowing. When Kem awoke, she was lying on a mat in Nana's hut. But the hut had changed. It was no longer dark and dusty. It glowed with sunlight. Herbs hung fresh from the rafters. The walls shimmered with symbols she didn't understand. She sat up slowly. The mirror lay beside her. It no longer showed her face. Instead, it showed others, villagers who were lost, children who were wounded, souls who were trapped in bitterness. And she understood. The mirror had chosen her. She was now the keeper, the guide. Her path would no longer be about gaining but giving, teaching others what she had learned in fire and sorrow. She rose, wrapped the mirror in cloth, and stepped out into the world barefoot, ready. Years passed. They say a strange woman wandered from village to village, never growing old. She carried an old mirror wrapped in bark cloth. She spoke softly. She listened more than she talked. And when people looked into her mirror, they saw who they truly were. Some ran, some wept, some changed. She became known only as the soul bearer. And no one ever forgot the lesson whispered in the wind whenever she left. To change the world, become the mirror you once feared to face. Droplet moral lesson. True redemption isn't about forgetting the past. It's about facing it fully, owning your wounds, and turning them into healing for others. You become free not by erasing your wrongs, but by transforming them into a path of service, humility, and truth. The end. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.